Page 26, To a Wild Rose, a very famous piece, a very famous melody. And this is actually a piano piece. It doesn't really look like it. You think, okay, another orchestra arrangement, because most everything in here so far has been an orchestra arrangement. But no, it was written for piano. 2/4 time, 3 sharps, we're in the key of A major. Make sure you can do the scale for A major and F sharp minor, because it also has 3 sharps. Probably should be doing the arpeggios then when you get to this level 2 of both of those keys. At least, I mean, with the arpeggios, it's the tremolo exercise that I'm really after. You need to be really drilling on that tremolo exercise, because that's going to give you the feeling of where the notes are in the arpeggios, and spreading your hands out and relaxing and all kind of. I explain it in the videos. Here, I don't really have any suggestions to speak of as far as fingering goes. You can just keep in mind that half notes, you hold them down. If you can't do that, you got to do that. I'll leave that up to you. It depends on how big your fingers are. Just make sure you hold these half notes down. Left hand, you'll just real. How you finger these chords, again, is up to you on most part. Depends on how big your hands are, how fat your fingers are, whichever. So it's a rhythm is easy enough. But eighth notes. Now watch out on that. It's an F sharp, B, D sharp. That is a D natural there, though. I will recommend a 4th finger on that last note on the first line, because you're coming up to a C sharp. And then here. Let's go down to the last line on page 26. So you're here. Now it's an F natural, a G sharp, and a D. The G sharp's in the key signature. And then you're up here. You get a treble clef in the bottom staff up here. Sounds wonderful, don't it? It's an E and an A C sharp, and a G sharp. You just added some tension in here. Make sure you hold the half notes down. And then we have these chords in the inversions. And I do this chord 1, 2, 4, and then 2, 4, 5. I don't change hand positions. Now I change hand positions here and then here. So I do 1, 2, 4, 2, 3, 5. And then I change hand positions again. But here you can do a here, here. They have 4. You can also do a 3. 4 is actually, I think, probably a more technically correct fingering, but 3 works. Just don't move around. Don't go. Stay put. I'm using 2nd finger on all those B's. There. And that's really the trickiest part of the piece, right in there. Because the next line you go back to your theme again, like you were at the beginning. Now on page 27, 3rd line down, look out here. In the 3rd major, you have this rolled chord. If your hand's big enough, hold them all down. If it's not big enough, then you have to let go of the first one. Here. Different people will play this differently. It's interpreted differently. I can't say this is right and that's wrong, although a lot of people will. I disagree with that. But here, some people will lead into it. Just like that, like if both hands are part of the chord, only this is here. Some people will play the top note of the right hand together. I don't. I play the bottom note here. Here, I play those together. So the measure before is 1, 2, 2. So you'll decide how you're going to do it, or your teacher will tell you how you're going to do it. That's fine too. Now in the next line, starting here, So you hold that down, you got the left hand coming down here, and then hold that down. 1, 2, 1. So it's at the beginning of that line, it's. And then now you have to move the left hand. So be careful on that one. Then at the end of that line, this is the fourth line down, you're here. The A is tied. Don't play it again. Here, see, just do that. So that A is careful on that one. So get it under your fingers. Get rid of the hesitation so it is a nice steady beat. And then for as far as articulation goes, it's all connected pretty much. Just try and connect it. You can't, but do the best you can. They have it slurred with each measure more or less. I disagree with that. I would connect from the last measure of the first line to the next measure, connect all that. You can't connect that, but you can that. That's why I said use the fourth finger. And connect that and that. It's a phrase. Connect all that. We want to hear that. Then you can lift up. It's a new phrase. You got to move your hands anyway, so okay. Then add the dynamics. The dynamics go to the melody. It's the top note in the right hand for the most part. Swell up to about a moderately soft and back down. Everything else has to be in the background. Don't use the saw pedal on this. Let's do it with the hands. So I want to hear that note. If you can't bring out one note like that, then you just have to play the whole right hand. You'll have to play that a little louder. But if you can, play that softer than that. And just putting more weight on the C sharp. I'm feeling the melody's kind of heavy, except it's soft, so it's not that heavy. Everything else is like feather light. And then you come up, that note right, that's what you're having. You come back down. Now in the second line, you're ending the third measures here. Now you're going to echo that. Now you go down to very soft. How soft can you get the left hand? But then you go up to moderately soft again. And then go back down to the third line, moderately soft. We'll start with the last measure, the second line, you're very soft. Go up to moderately, right there, moderately soft. And then start coming down. That is like a sub, I can't think of the word. It's a nice little voice that's sort of helping out, but it's still in the background. We want to hear this. That's what we want to hear. So this, keep very soft. Back down to very soft. And now you're very soft again. Everything else is super duper soft. And then you get a crescendo poco a poco. Well, it means you're going to gradually get louder, little by little. You're going to go all the way up to loud for the second measure of page 27, so pace it out. You're starting very soft here, second measure, the last line on page 26. Go up just a little bit to soft. Moderately soft. Moderately loud. Now loud. And that's the right hand here. The melody's still the top note in the right hand, but go ahead and make the whole right hand there. And then start coming back down soft. And they give you a P in parentheses to say, oh, by the way, hint, hint, you're going to be soft, because at the beginning of the next line, you're soft again like you were at the beginning. You had your little temper tantrum or whatever you were doing there, and now you've calmed down. Everything's fine. Okay, and we go back. So you put in the dynamics. Now at the end, the last line here, you're soft here. Now if you can't hold this A and play that, because technically you want to hold that down, the pedal will help you out. So just do that, do the best you can. And then here, the very soft now, and very, very soft, or piano pianissimo, 3 Ps. You're practically blowing on the keys, so your solo. We want to hear that. Everything else is tied. How light can you play that? If you have to, go ahead and use the soft pedal for that, just for that. Push it down right before you play the notes. But it's really better if you can learn to control how soft you can play, and you can practice playing really, really soft when you're doing the arpeggios and scales. Practice playing them really, really super soft and loud and everything in between. Practice them with staccatos and legatos and all that. You practice one hand doing one thing and another hand doing another, as in louds and softs or staccato and legato. Do all that with the scales and arpeggios, so you got to do them anyway, so you just will. And this way you get this idea of playing really super soft. Now they've added pedal, and we really need pedal here. We want to connect things, and we really want the overtones, because this is a fairly slow piece, and you've got time to hear everything, so we want to color it. See, generally when you start going slower on a piano, it's more important to use pedal, because you want to color it and add the overtones. Otherwise, it's kind of dry. Ugh. Dry works okay when you're going really lickety-split and fast, but not when you're going slow. You see, on the speed, they say gently. Well, gently is not a speed, it's more of a mood, but they do that sometimes. That gives you a hint of how fast it's going to go. This is a fairly slow, it's not a real slow piece. You don't want to drag it, but it is a 1, 1, 2. And that's slower than what you feel, because you're 1, 2, you have a natural speed you want to go, and it's faster than that. So what'll happen is you'll speed this up, and you won't realize you're speeding it up. So the thing we typically do on that case is we subdivide the beat. So if I think 1 and 2 and all the way through, I'm less likely to speed it up. So I'm going 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Try that if you, also with a metronome, use a metronome with it if you need to. Now for the pedal, it's overlapping. It's the same pedaling we've been using forever. Push the notes down and then the pedal. The idea is we want to start the sound before we release the dampers, before we start the overtones. So the basic sound first, and then we add overtones to it. It kind of grows out. I'm talking acoustic pianos here. You'd have to experiment on an electronic to see if there's any difference. So it's here. I'm going to change the pedal after I play the notes, so it overlaps it just a little bit. Get the idea? And that's pretty much all the way through. Now, if you'd like to hear phrasing, go ahead and experiment with that. For instance, on page 26 in the second line, you're ending a phrase at the half note there. Starting the phrase again, well, if I lift the pedal up with the hands, I get a little silence here. It's like taking a breath. So if you want to put that in, go ahead, try that and see if you can put in phrasing in between them. The third line is the last 2 measures. The half note ends it, and then it starts. On the last line, first measure, that, to me, that messes it up. I'm going to change the pedal on each beat. Change it here, and then here. Connect that. It's not just, I'm leaving here because we're starting to get louder and more exciting, so okay. And that's fine. Their pedaling indications there's fine. If you want a little silence at the end of that, lift the pedal up with the hands. If you don't want the silence, then overlap the pedal. Ultimately, it's up to you and what you like to hear. And that's really the pedaling throughout. At the end, the last few measures, the last 3 measures here. I don't want both of these. I don't want both of these all the way through. This is really soft and dying away. If you want, just don't pedal the 8th note. Just lift up for that one, and then pedal on that. So starting with the half note right in front of it. So 3rd measure here, and then just lift up, and then pedal that. Just don't pedal the F sharp. Yeah, my opinion. You have to listen very carefully with the pedaling and the effect it has to the sound. And it's really, ultimately, it's up to you and your ear and what you like. Just don't get lazy and just, oh, I'll just pedal it. No.